Congratulations Talon 1024. You have picked out Batman.
Hello chat, it's been a while, well it's been a month actually since I last streamed. Do apologise for the late delay, I completely forgot again about the drivers. So basically I put on OBS about it's over 30 minutes ago now, and OBS went, what driver? So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot, the drivers had basically been installed and I just forgot to do the restart because I'm not doing anything really that needs them at the moment, so that kind of happened, and it's probably why actually ETS stopped working. because it didn't see the drivers. I forgot. That's my fault. Anyway, hello there, Humble Squire, and hello again to, I say again, but hello to Talon1024 for the, because I saw you do the Amiga Lucky Dip, which reminds me I need to put the Doman on one. I will do that and check that probably for next week. I don't know whether I'm going to get around to doing it this week, because I've been actually quite busy. Because when I came back from holiday, I had another holiday. I went to Tunisia in the first week of, was it the first week or the second week of February? So basically sitting on a beach, and it was one of those hotels where it has like the beach on next to the hotel. So I decided at that point when I was sat in the, under the kind of like little canopy things, like, does my phone still work out here? Just, yeah. Full Wi-Fi still broadcasting from the hotel behind me on the beach still. I'm like, Jesus. But I was basically, I took 2 books with me. I took, what did I take? I took this book. This is The Secret History of Mac Gaming. That was interesting to read. So I'm still reading through that. This is how far I've got into the book so far. So this is what I've read so far. I've yet to read this. So I'm under halfway so far. So that's been good. I think I also took the, did I take the DOS device driver stuff? I think I did, but don't think I got to read that. I just read this one. So. But yeah, always good that I can sit down and just read something without kind of, without anything else. I think I did take the Pandora as well, so I did a little bit of gaming. Speaking of the Pandora, I finally fixed the, I think I did some programming on it a couple of years ago, because I was trying to get something done that I'd promised at like a decade earlier. And, I remember, I think I was uploading the stuff to the SD card, and this was about the time that Windows 10 was still a bit iffy on certain other things, and it broke the card, so I had to reformat it, and I lost all the ROMs that I had sat on there. And I think after that, I decided I was never going to trust Windows 10 again with anything like that. So, thank you, Cat, you just changed my bloody... Give me a second. My cat seems to like, the black one down here seems to like lying on my mouse, which is no good thing. Whereas up to, yeah, so I basically said I was never going to trust Windows 10 again on anything related to any, because the Pandora is like a Linux-based thing, and I think I had the SD cards and ext4 formatted. Now I remember Windows 7 not having much of a problem with that. I think you had to download something to get it to read the ext4, but it was pretty good at just, reading it. And then 10, no matter what you did, it just basically decided, no, I don't care, you're not using Windows, so I'm just going to break it. So yeah, I think I'd left that card, and it was 128 gigs worth of stuff, like just empty for ages. And I keep forgetting to kind of change it, because all my Mega Drive ROMs were on there, so including 32X and Mega CD. There's other stuff on there that I'd forgotten that I'd put on. So I think before I went on holiday, I made sure that I decided to sit down, bring my Gen 2 Linux laptop on, and just basically have that doing everything, and it was perfect after that. So it's like, right, future reference, Linux to Linux, don't do anything Windows to Linux. So just, yeah, frustrating. So yeah, I took the Pandora with me. I think, at that point I'd get everything on. I didn't do much gaming, but what I did do with it was, because it's got a keyboard, I was doing a blog post on it. So I was just writing some stuff on it was great to be able just to sit there and write like a little blog post. So I did that and then transferred that back to, I think, the Linux laptop. See, that was good. But yeah, other than that, I had a holiday and then my brain just shut down for the rest of the month. I did pop in to see other people through the time on Twitch. It was kind of weird. It felt a lot of a long month this month, so it's kind of good to get back into streaming again. Plus, I want to finish Bounty Bob off, so yeah. Anyway, so I've been rambling a little bit too much now. So let's start the Spectrum next. Oh, I did do some updates with this as well. I have updated the firmware and I added a different core to this. It's not the one I want. Aha. So I've added this Spectrum QL core into this, and it works fine. But the problem is it doesn't seem to actually have any way to access the SD card that I know of. So it's a bit kind of bare bones. I'm not quite sure how you get to it. If anybody knows, I don't know. I don't think anything's been mentioned since then, but I mean, it works, so... It says card was initialized. So I don't know what that actually means. But yeah, I can see it works fine. But I've not done much testing with this QL, so I don't know, to be honest. But yeah, at least it's on, I suppose. Right, let me just do a full reset. Can I do anything else with this? Yeah, I started adding some more games to this because it was a bit light on games. So there's more games on this now. And I separate it out into all folders, you can see there. Not everything has a game in there, but at least it's better than it was. So that's something. But anyway, you're here to see Bounty Bob. No we don't. Don't want to load that. Can't remember how you reset the... There we go, it's symbol shift and enter. So we don't want the loader. Turn that off. There we go. Turn this down a little bit. No, it should be fine actually. Right, so... And I realised I've messed that up. There we go, that's what I wanted. So the code was JDP. Oh, there, critical interrupt. Right, this is it. See if what I remember from a month ago. I know this had to be a bit precise. Yeah, I'm going to be a bit rusty. What's up with the audio? Must be something dicky with the Spectrum Next. It's kind of weird. I've hardly had it out, so I don't understand why it's being like that. Yeah, it's not really possible because I messed it up. Completely forgot which one to go down first. Oh, this one. And I forgot to enable this pause. I think we come close to actually doing this, but we didn't actually do it. And it's because of the rain is very hard to I think I in the end I worked out what the rain was. It was 3. It was the 2 out ones. It was like 3, and then the inner one kind of helps with the. It was somewhat weird. Yeah, and I gotta be careful. So the 2 out ones do 3, and the one in the middle does something else, and I can't remember what that did. Right. First of all, I need to enable this. I could give myself 5 lives, but we've been doing 3 lives anyway, so it's fine. I'm pretty sure I've not done 5. Should have done a bit of a bigger jump there. Still got plenty of time though. Oh. Hey. Completely messed it up. Right, what was the key for that? Was it? It's number 1 to pause. Right, so I think I mostly sussed this last time. I'm just trying to remember what it was. So I think what I did last time was I realised that I could use the lift after I get the... If I go right, pick up that item, jump up and take a left, go back and hit number 2, that removes that issue there. And then I come back and do the bottom part. I think that might be the idea. Just see if that is correct. But be careful as well because... because of the rain. So if I do now, yep, that's fine. Ah, should have seen that rain coming. One, 2, 3. Great time to stand up, cat. Wait, shifty bum. One. That rain is not easy to remember where it's coming in. I think that's the most difficult out of this so far that I've done. And we're just under halfway as well. I think they said it had 32 levels. Or 24, one of the two. Don't know why I jumped to the left then. Just wanted to test if I could jump across that bottom one, which I suspected I could. don't know if that gives me any benefit in terms of... Actually, it should give me a bit of a benefit in terms of timing, because then I don't have to use the gravity lift to do that anymore. Great. You can have a good run, and then sometimes you just completely mess it up. Ooh, the other thing as well. So, I can't remember why I was thinking it, but sounds weird me saying this, but speaking to ChatGPT, as it were, and I think I was asking about BIOS upgrades, and I think I was asking about the Windows 95 box I've got, because I'm not quite sure who the motherboard person is. And it suggested a couple of sites. One of the sites it suggested just had a load of ads on it, and I can't remember what it's called. And then another one it suggested was one called the Retro Web, and that just seems to be a really awesome collection of I say every single, but lots of motherboards with, all the BIOSes. Now, with the ad heavy one, I found out what my board was. Well, it helped me find out what the BIOS was anyway. So I could identify that. And then I found out through the retro web, I've actually got a Jetway board with the updated, I think it's got version 2 of the BIOS that I've got from like 98. And there's a suspicion that the reason why the AMD 300 didn't work was because the BIOS was like, don't know what the hell this is. So there's a good chance version 2, which is on the site, will actually have that in there. So I might be able to upgrade the board to AMD 300, but because it's got like this Wikipedia type thing, I'll show it later. But basically, it was talking about the different sockets. Sorry, if you've gone to the socket, it shows you all the different CPUs you can get on for it. And there's one CPU that it mentioned that I completely forgot about, and that was the AMD K63, which you can find on eBay, but they're only doing the 450 megahertz versions. and they're going from between 70 to £70 plus. So not useful for me, but maybe for somebody else, I don't know. But the one I think I want to try is I want to buy the AMD K62. And if I get the 300 version and see whether that actually runs on the board, that would be quite a good one. So that's what I'm thinking of upgrading the board to. If it doesn't work, that's fine. I've got the 300. I can see if that still works. If it does, that's good. Because at least then it's been upgraded. But the site itself was pretty good because I can. It doesn't just do motherboards. It does GPUs and stuff. So I've got the Riva TNT to look into and see if I've got the latest drivers for that. And yeah, other than that, the retro web is pretty good for that sort of thing. And most of you probably already heard of it, but it was the first time I'd seen it. In fact, I'll show what I mean when I've done this run. Should have jumped up to get that one. Right, okay, the retro web. Let me show you what I mean. Do I not have a window? Oh yeah, I do have window capture, of course I do. Right, so the retro web here. So you can look at bias images, and I will find mine. Was it Jetway? Was it that one? Oh no, it's bias manufacturer one we're talking about. So it was a Ward. And then you can search specifically for Jetway here. And mine was the, I think, what was it? Tell you what, let me just search for that. It's 430TX, that was right. I think it's that one. There we go. So if I click here, this is, I know this is my board that comes up. You can see it's got things like it's got 2 power bits. So you got the old that's the old AT power, that's the ATX power. It still has sims and dims here. This is, so the ID, two IDs, one of them is a floppy, I think that's the floppy one, and that's the local printer port, so you can do it that way. That's kind of weird for that. So it's got all these IDs plus the ISAs. So on my board, I've got a Sound Blaster 16 Vibra on an ISA slot, and I don't, obviously this doesn't have AGP, so I did have the Voodoo 3, it's now the TNT on one of these PCI slots, and that's where the CPU sits. But this board that I've got is actually, the BIOS I've got is a 1.5, but they've got version 2 here, so that's what I'm looking to upgrade it to, which would be good. And then I said I was looking at the Socket 7 board here, and that's where I found the K63, which I slowly remembered. Oh yeah, I forgot about the K63s. But yeah, like I said, the eBay only has the 450 megahertz versions. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can put K62 on there. I don't know what a WinChip is, but yeah, that's all the stuff. But the retro web is actually quite useful for stuff like that, and me wanting to get the. So if I go. It was 6710, I think it was. Yeah, so that's my graphics one that I've got currently, and it's got all the drivers here, which is good because then I can kind of get the correct one finally, instead of like trying to hunt the web. It just seems to have got everything here. So if you've never seen this before and you've got some old machines, you want to see whether you can upgrade the BIOS and stuff, we'll stick this in chat and then you can have a look yourselves. There we go. So yeah. Hello there, Manic Winer. Streaming a proper computer. Yeah, I know you're kind of love for the next, but not really that much love for the original hardware. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Nexus is a great machine, but I do like to at least try and give some real hardware love when I can. Hence why I've been switching between this and the real hardware. Oh. Oh, Jesus. No. This way first. I don't notice any difference now. What, but when I stream it, or just generally? Earlier I did show the QL core off. But as I was saying about the QL core, I find it a little pointless because I don't think you can get the SD card access, or if you can, I'm not quite sure how you do it. Next version of original. Okay, fair enough. I do wonder what the next core stuff they're going to release is going to be. Yeah, I can't do HDMI on this. I think I could do it without streaming. It's fine without the stream. But if I'm streaming, I've got to do VGA. because I don't think it likes to pass through. Oh, that's what I'm missing. Better SD access coming with a new core. You can transfer single file zips with the SD to the cool QXL file. Okay, thank you, Maniguana. Because it'd be good to play around with the QL core. I know someone found a way to do it, but it was kind of long-winded, I think it was. Yeah, because I remember rightly actually thinking about it, the QL file is just one big... It's just one big, I won't say core-like thing, but it's, I suppose it's a bit like, trying to think what the word is. Like a big virtualization thing, if you see what I mean. Probably wrong, but... As in, it's just not easy to access or something. Because it's all in one contained area, that's what I'm trying to get at. Swap into computer, right? Okay, that's fine. Oh, ad starting in 2 minutes 50. Come here, you little shit. There we go. That's a 3.
For the fallen!
And we've got a raid. Mr. Smeg. Give me a moment.
Oh no. That's the closest I've come to actually doing this.
Sorry, I just slightly missed that there. Thank you for the raid there, Mr. Smeg. You just caught me just as... The problem is I'm on this level at the moment on this this game, and it's got acid rain, so I'm going to be careful. I've died a few times here. So. Right, thank you very much for the raid. What were you doing? Let me have a look. Donkey Kong is a fine game, and it's no way unfair. Yeah, I vaguely remember Donkey Kong from... So when I was on the Retro Hour Christmas quiz, one of the early questions was describing Donkey Kong. But I think describe the Japanese version, because the Japanese version, the American version is too different, because I think with the the American version, after the main one, you go to the plug bits, the one with the bit in the middle. When you pull all the plugs, it pulls everything down, and then you move on to the next one. But in the Japanese version, apparently there's like a pie one in between that, which it's like, why didn't you include that in the first place? I don't know, whatever. But so I don't know which version you played. I think that's right, Donkey Kong. Yeah, that's right. Cat, stop shit. Oh. Such a long boy. Ads are starting soon, so we'll get back to everyone about that in a moment. So yeah, let me switch the ads now. I'll be back soon. If it lets me do it. Come on. Why are you not letting me do it? Some of the boards don't get introduced until later level. Newest version, Japanese version, plays all ball in secret. Yeah, pretty stupid. Right, I'm gonna go into the ads. So I'll see you all in about 3 minutes. Alright, welcome back everyone. Apologies for that. I think it was just bad timing in terms of raids and ads and stuff, but that's just the way things go sometimes on here. Okay, so I read what you said, let's just beg. I'm just going to read it again. Some of the boards you don't get introduced until later level, and US version, Japanese version just plays all the 4 boards in sequence on every level. Okay, fair enough. I'll have to have a go at that Japanese version at some point. And then just see what the difference is. I think the only highest I've been to is, was it 25 meters, is it, per level? So I think I might have hit 75, I'm not sure, but it wasn't always the case. Not very good in Donkey Kong, to be honest. I'll have to have another go at some point, but not right now. Sorry, my brain's just everywhere at the moment. Because I already also read what Manic Winer said, but which I'll talk about in a minute. So yeah, those of you coming in from Lister Smeg's channel, I do lots of retro stuff. If I tend to go modern, it's probably going to be VR. So for example, recently I did, well, about a year ago, I did the Jedi Knight 2 from like 2004, the VR version, and that was a lot of fun. Having been sniped by the is it the Rodins? Is it Rodin? Is it Rodin? I can never remember the race name. I can visualize it. The snipers in that game. At one point, I remember the sniper shot went straight into my eye, and I could just see this red thing. And I was like, Jesus Christ! But playing around with freehand lightsaber in that game was so much fun. So yeah, other stuff I usually do is Mega Mondays, and as you can see here, I'm doing Sinclair Spectrum stuff. So I'm bouncing between Spectrum Next and Real Hardware to get both of them to get some time with both of them. So yeah, it's kind of the stuff that I do on this channel. Apologies for the slight kind of me being everywhere, but I'm just kind of, I've only just got back to streaming because I've been off for a month, and I've got this big boy here, look at him, massive cat thing, who's decided that he's just going to take over all my desk. He's very timid, very lovely boy, but sometimes when he's like this, he kind of just melds into my t-shirt. He's such a black cat. Where are we up to? Probably want to copy this, presuming you have a folder in the root of your next SD card called Q file, and a file called namcos.mdv. So MDV, if I remember rightly, is the disk file for the microdrive, like ADF for example. You'll need to transfer it to the QL side with EWS copy, comma, #1, quote, Q file / namcos mdv, win1 underscore namcos mdv. Are we doing this on the... Am I to do this on the Spectrum Next side? Is that what we're saying? Because, I mean, to be honest, we might as well try it afterwards. I could probably just do it after the stream or after this segment. We can see what it's like. If I recall, you can exclude the win1 bit as it's your default drive anyway. It's important that you make that file name extension transition from the full stops to the underscores. Okay. Hello there, the dice. MDV microdrive, yeah. QL, oh, on the QL side. Right, super basic QL. Yeah, that's fine. I was going to do it near the end and then we can just practice it. So what I might have to do is I might have to switch. Because if I need an empty MDV file, most of the emulators nowadays will give you that empty MDV. But I can set up the folder in the Spectrum Next, perhaps. That might be a way of doing it. Okay, well, we'll have a look at it a bit, so that's fine. Anyway, so Where was he up to with this game? Ah, yeah. Right. Got to be careful with this, because it will clip me. No, yep. Swine. Also, these 10 people who came in just presume I play Doom and make dad jokes all day. I don't want to spoil my reputation doing stuff. Oh, God. You reframe it as you're helping a streamer understand the core. I don't know whether that'd work or not. Or maybe turn it into a dad joke, I don't know. I don't know how many of the people that have just come in know anything about this game, because it's a sequel to Miner 2049er. And I had it on the ZX Spectrum. I really enjoyed it, but I never completed it, which is why I'm doing it today. Well, have been doing it for the past, I think this is the 4th, so about a month though. And I've gotten further than I ever have done. The password system is real nice touch, because in the first game it's just 10 levels. There are zones in the first game, but it's basically the speed of the enemies just get quicker and quicker, but it's the same 10 levels as far as I remember. But this has basically just been expanded a lot. Didn't know there was this Bounty Bob game and a Specky. Love Miner 2049er and the Atari 8. But yeah, we never got Miner 2049er, but we did get a sequel. I mean, I suppose you could argue that Manic Miner was our Miner 2049er, because I think it was said that Matt Smith had based Manic Miner on that entire concept. But I don't think we ever actually got a version. Did I miss one? Oh yeah, I did. Oops. Oh, come on. I think as ports go, not many people talk enough about this game, because I think as a port, it's actually pretty decent. little bit that I keep sliding down. It's just, I managed to miss it a couple of tries ago, but now I just seem to be getting stuck on it. Here we go. 1, 2. Ah! I had to wait for the rain to go, and then I got killed. The other thing about this is passwords only coming every 3 levels. So I'm having to redo the same 3 levels, and it's that last section that keeps getting me. No! Ooh. Never sure about how far you can fall in this game sometimes. If I live another 23 years, I'm changing my Twitch name to minor 25. Saville's just Chucky Egg without the chickens. Yeah, it's a bit Chucky Egg like. Oh, you swine. Try not to go too far across because I don't want to miss the platform. I keep forgetting which is the best. That's fine. Okay, we're good. Should have taken an item. Oh, there, Fluke 666. Must have had this game for 37 years and never really played it. Just another tape, can't be honest. So, I mean, the thing is that the tape itself was actually quite nice, because one thing I do enjoy with some of the so this is the let me just put this on webcam stream so you can see it better. So this was the box, which was quite nice actually. And then I do like some of the designs and some of the tapes. So this was the Bounty Bob one, just like properly. There we go. So you can see that kind of really sort of Western wooden kind of look to it. It's really nice. Yeah, I had a couple of games like this. They were clamshell sort of stuff. So there's this one. There's my other favourite, which some people might disagree with, which is this one, Tapper. That was another, I think that was another US Gold one. No, that was a Sega one only, I do apologise. I think I had Zaxxon as a clamshell at one point. So that is a Tapper tape there. Oh, that is US Gold. Yep, that's fine. Must have been a collab. We've got CRL, Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's that one. That's the tape for that one. Another favourite, Gremlins, the Tex Adventure. And that one had just kind of a basic tape, nothing really interesting. That's that. So that's the only clamshell ones I have. The only kind of other ones I've got is like a jewel case. I've got 3 of these. And one of my other favourites is Tour de Force, the clamshell version. And the tape for this, that's just a basic Gremlin one. That's that there. So think I played it once, for some reason it never stuck, so I never went back. I've always meant to just always end up loading up Chaos or Star Quake or something. Most of my games were budget. Do have some nice Beyond boxes, they were quite nice. Yeah. Cytron Lords of Midnight. I've got some of the smaller ones. So, for my childhood, these aren't for my childhood, but they were rebought. Classic Batman 1 and Ghostbusters 2 in a smaller box form. There's also Gremlins 2 and Power Drift as well in the smaller formats. Or if you get some big ones, and I think these two I got from Play Expo. There's Lift Off with a Space Shuttle. I think we tried this once. So this is in box form, and then this is a it's basically a machine code programming development package consisted of an editor, assembler, and separate monitor disassembler. And it actually has some undocumented code in here as well, which is quite useful. So that's interesting, but that's the only thing I've really got. I mean, I've got some boxes, but I've got to really dig into that side to get them. The only other boxes I've got is the Tolkien Trilogy, Lord of the Rings Game 1, because that box is actually quite nice. What else have we got? I've got Star Wars Trilogy, which is one of my prized possessions, even though the box is pretty broken. Oh yeah, and I've got the Cape Crusader as well in there. I do have a bunch of games in double cassette boxes with only one tape. Absolutely, yeah, I remember. Yeah, they did feel a bit just overzealous on the kind of packaging. Going for Right Roadrunner Spring to Mind. One Tip and Bump. Yep. Yeah. Another great game, Charlie Force. I think I got it free with Crash. Yes, he did come with Crash at one point. Turtles in a small box like that. Horrible game. Did anybody actually write machine code direct from the Spectrum? Imagine using a 48K game, trying to compile it to the same 48K. I think the Pickford brothers had something, they coded on the Amstrad, but then used something to spit into the Spectrum's memory via the expansion port. I think that's how they did that one. I don't know about Matt Smith. I've heard some rumours about him using a TRS-80 to program some of the games because they had the same processor. But I'm assuming people probably would have used some sort of either cross-compiler or maybe some assembler on there to do it that way, perhaps. Interface error, yeah, that's right. Yeah, TRS-80. So there was a way of doing it. Oh, and another stream, another raid from Spiderware.
Curious.
So is the kettle boots a furry? No, it's just a magical.
My lord, the girl.
I think you must profusely, my lord.
What on earth was that? Just okay. Was this some sort of CDI game, or were you watching something that looked a bit kind of random? What were you doing? Impossible Mission C64? I think you can get Impossible Mission on a Spectrum, but it doesn't play as well as the C64 version. I think the only other time you can get it on the Amiga is via... Did the Amiga have its own Impossible Mission, or did you have to do it through Impossible Mission 2, was it? I know one of the games, was it like 10... Impossible Mission 2024 or something had the original game. It was something weird like that. That was Dingo Pictures, Puss in Boots. Okay. don't think I've ever heard of that. I mean, I've heard of Puss in Boots, but not Dingo Pictures. You can get it on YouTube as a full movie. From 1997, apparently. And it's German, I'm assuming. Because I'm seeing a lot of German in this. Founders Ludwig Ickert and Ross Witherhaus? Yeah, German company. That's probably why I've never heard of it. We used to do Movie Monday where we watched bad public domain movies. Dingo Pictures was some of the worst Disney rip-off cartoons. Oh god. Yeah, definitely a good way to go on a Monday. Watch something really kind of like tacky. Anyway, thank you everyone for coming in from Spider-Wire's Wade. But again, thank you for the raid, that's Spider-Wire. So we're doing Bounty Bob Strikes Back. And I've still not got past this set of levels. It's basically the way this is going is every 3 levels you get a password, which is good for practice, but bad when you get like a really hard level, and the first 2 levels you can kind of do okay-ish in, but the 3rd level just nips at the edge of whether you can do it or not. So that's what we're doing currently. Alpha. Really show myself up here. I might as well just start this again. Also, we're on the Spectrum Next today. Next week I'll probably be back to the real hardware again. Fascinating to see a Spectrum version of this. Yeah, we were just discussing earlier the tape, I think just before you came in. Because this is on C64 as well, I believe. But I don't know how it plays on the C64, and I've just done a mess up. The one thing I do remember saying about this game was the, I don't know about the Atari version, because I'm sure there was an Atari version. But you can control the jumping a lot better on this. Whereas in the original, because we played the 8-bit version of Miner 2049 and before this, and you were strict. It was strict on how you did the jumping. You could get away with some bits, like if you did the whole turn opposite where you want to jump and then jump the other way, you could kind of get a smaller jump distance doing that. But this one, definitely, so I can jump up and then move around, which you couldn't do properly like that. But some of the should I call it toys or accessories, where you got like you've now got the this thing here, is actually quite fun. Hello there, Gabriel. Ah. You look like you want to jump up there, but you know that it's not going to be a good idea. Cat looks like he wants to jump up this one because there's like a cat bed there, but there's been a couple of times where he's missed and just gone in between here because he's his stupid cat. Last time he did that, he took everything that was on the side here with him. It's like, yeah, thanks for that. It's fine, nothing was broken. But it's kind of funny in a way. It was okay. It's not really much of a drop for him, but my cat's always exploring ways to destroy my stuff by clambering. Yeah, they do love doing that. Especially Macintosh keyboards. I think they've got a pet hate for them. Because I think the problem is when you've got a keyboard that is so flat with the keys, the cat's just like, what the hell is this? Fine, I'll just walk across it. Just... Yeah, so I think usually when you get a better keyboard, they do tend to be a bit more kind of, not sure about this, but your cat experience may vary. one was to go. See, this level can be straightforward, but it's easy sometimes to mess it up. The next section is a bit better. The one thing that did keep through this series, though, is there doesn't seem to be any way of getting any extra lives. It's like you got 3 and that's it. I mean, sure you got the passwords, but it's still not easy. Let's say very difficult. It's not all of it is, but it's tricky sometimes. I think that's probably why you've never played it, found it much too tricky. It's learnable. So at least that's that. It is learnable. This one, like I said, the jumping you can do a bit better and a bit sneaky. God, I can't speak at the moment. But the jumping, it's one of those better than the original. And then in some cases it's trying to find the right pixel to jump across. So you'll probably see me edging to a certain part of the... Completely forgot about that. No problem, Gabriel, thank you for popping in. So yeah, sometimes you might see me edging sort of like in that level with all the slides and stuff on that little block on both sides. I was edging as much as I could to do the jump. So there'll be cases like that. Thank you for the follow there, Gabriel. The other problem with this game sometimes is the when you jump or fall, sometimes it's not always obvious where you can kind of jump and fall to. So you've got to be careful with that. Yo. Trying to think of something that would be equivalent to this. I don't know whether Manic Miner would be. I think Manic Miner would be a bit harder than this because a lot of people don't seem to be able to get through. I think the hardest level on Manic Miner after Eugene's lair is probably going to be the warehouse. And if I remember rightly, the one just before the end, which is the solar generator room, is possible, but it's very tight in terms of timing. Did I call it Manic Miner? Oh, sorry. Manic Miner. But I think this is a bit easier than, just a bit easier than Manic Miner. Especially since with Manic Miner, you don't have a password. You've got to do it all the way through. This one at least gives you a password. You know what I mean? Minus 2049, and no, not the prequel. Or the first game, which we already did. Right, one life for this acid rain level. Actually, I can go across the top. No, that was stupid. Forgot that once you drop onto that, it starts going. Oh, we're on 154, so I'll do this as the last run. Then we'll look into the QL thing that Manic Miner gave me. And I'll call it a stream. Never got very far with Manic 2049 or Manic Miner either. Didn't get a spec until 89. Though, so I think that might not have helped. Yeah, the only reason why I managed to complete Manic Miner... sorry. I know what I've just said then. So, complete Manic Miner sounds very dodgy. So the only reason why I managed to complete Manic Miner was because we did an arcade club with there was an arcade club going on with, let me pause it because I'm trying to talk and think at the same time. Retro Asylum are doing a game. It's every month they picked a game, so they decided to include it on Sundays. So they did things like softcore porn adventure. That text adventure done by what was it now? It was done on an Apple II, I think it was. Wasn't it done by Sierra before the Sierra came about? I think it was done by, what was her name? I can picture who she is, and I can't remember the name. But basically, the people that did behind Sierra originally did it. We did the third game in the Tex Murphy series, which was Under a Killing Moon, and it's the first time I played that. It was really, really nice. Even I really like the 3D aspects where you're looking around the rooms and stuff. And I still think the game holds up pretty well. At the moment, I did look into the Pandora Directive, I think it was, which is the next one. I really need to get back into that. The problem is I start games sometimes meaning to get back to them and never get back to them, so that needs finishing. That's an off stream, by the way. What else did we do? We did Final Fantasy VII. Because of that club, I'd finally finished Final Fantasy VII for the first time ever. I got close to completing it, but I think I got to the last boss, which has a couple of forms, and I managed to get one form out of the way, but never the other ones. And then with this month, I managed to do it, so I was really happy. What else did we do? There was the Intellivision D&D game that was on there. It was quite fun, but it doesn't really lend itself well to streaming because it's only very short, so I didn't play it for very long. But I did find it quite fun. And then we also one month did Manic Miner, and I finally managed to complete it. We got to the point where I could kind of loop it, but not reliably. So I think I played it recently. I think after the stream last month, and I did as well as what I used to do before I completed it. So I'd completely forgotten the way I did the warehouse section, and I have a weird way of doing it, but it kind of works. So I couldn't remember that, so I couldn't finish it properly. So I'll have to try and remember what I did. It's something to do with you jump over, and you got to wait before you jump over the first prickly bush, and it drops down, and then I'll jump until this thing goes down and go across. But in order for me to do it correctly, I've got to wait. I think you've got to wait for it to start going down before I move, because otherwise it doesn't work. It's kind of really weird the way I do it, but it does work quite well. And it's just for that beginning bit. Maybe I'll do a run at some point. I don't know. I'll have to, Roberta Williams. Yes, that's her name. So it's her and the husband or the boyfriend at the time. They did that softcore porn adventure, and it was fun. It was just typical of the text adventure stuff at the time of what the hell are you trying to work out how to do this puzzle kind of thing. So yeah. I had to start in 140, so I'll let these ones run. Ken Williams, that's the one. The thing is I can see the person's face, I just could not remember the name. Yeah, if you've never played softcore porn adventure, it's fun, and you should be able to play it on the stream because it's not explicit in the way that I think you'd get banned. I could be wrong here, but I double check it because it's a text adventure, so you should be okay with it. I can't remember. I don't think I ever streamed it though because I wasn't sure if that was going to be allowed. But you should be okay. I don't know, you guys are probably best to know about that sort of thing. I'll do this level and then I won't break for ads. I will answer that chat message when I come back, so pausing now, see you in about 3 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. So let's have a look. They did a new Colossal Cave adventure a few years ago, didn't they? Yes, they did. I believe, wasn't it the VR version they did? Which I thought was a bit weird considering the original was a text adventure. I mean, I suppose so. I don't know how good it was. I don't know if anybody played it. Just been reading the Wikipedia article on Outcast because I didn't realise it had gotten a sequel. But apparently one came out 2 years ago, apparently. And Wikipedia also mentions that the original game was going to have a Dreamcast port, but they shelved it because the game wasn't commercially successful, so you didn't get that. Would have been interesting to see on a Dreamcast. Well, they're planning to do System Shock 2 on the Dreamcast as well. I think that got there's a beta of that available, but you only get to see very little of it. I think it's just like a level or just part of a level or something like that. Speaking of betas, one thing I do want to see at some point is probably never going to happen, but the PS2 version of Alien Colonial Marines, because it was supposed to be almost complete. So I'd love to see if we ever get to see a beta version of that anytime soon. Playing original as remastered version on Xbox. I think that did okay, which is why it finally got a sequel. Ah, okay. Sometimes it's just timing as well. People don't kind of gravitate towards it because it's doing things that people kind of don't expect or that sort of thing. Or they don't warm to it straight away because it's not just weird stuff like that can sometimes happen. One, two, three. Ah, you swine. It's taking my time. I was hoping I was going to get that done. Ah. It's interesting because I remember it being one of the first big kind of open world games that caught my attention, but didn't have a PC back in the day. When did it come out? Just thinking about it, because open world stuff was around. 1999. Must have been an early version of an open world game because Daggerfall was 96. I mean, it's more 3D, 2.5D type stuff. Maybe just didn't gravitate to people at that point. I don't know. And Attack was my first open world game. Open Village more like. Lords of Midnight I could never get my head into. Because I always assumed you could actually enter the buildings, you know, the ones that you could see, but you can't actually do that because it's more of an outside thing, isn't it? I don't think I quite understood that at the time. Mind you, I wasn't very old. I was a kid back then, so I kind of assumed, oh, how do you get into the houses? But I couldn't do it. Just didn't quite get it. It's a nice Lords of Midnight remake on an XSD card. Check that in a moment. Thank you for the follow there, Select Specky. Yeah, there's Select Specky. Again, thank you for the follow. Can't believe I missed this one at the top. I must have picked this up and... Oh, I picked it up and then dropped down accidentally. That's what caused the issue. And that's why I wait for the thing to go up, because if you don't, that kind of happens. Right, bit of a poor start coming in from me. I mean, I'm getting closer to doing the last segment, but not enough to complete it. Well, it's been a month since I played this, so I'm allowed to be a bit rusty. Anyway, before we basically finish the stream, let's have a quick look at a couple of things. So first of all, Lords of Midnight. Now with this one, I believe it's this one. prettier screen because you've now got all the colours. Now I'm not going to go through into a complete thing of this because I don't know what I'm doing, and yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. H for help. Okay. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4 to move. Great, guys. Just 2, 3. It would have been nice for them to do a bit more of a kind of number pad style, because at least then it's kind of a bit better. Cursor keys also move. Actually, that makes it a bit better. And you can switch between the characters with C, V, B and N. I think that was right. So that's Morkin, Corleth. Yeah, okay. Luxor. Cursor keys. Back doesn't work though. Left does. Oh, that's nice. Seek. He has found nothing. Less than 2 hours of the day remain, and looks so it's utterly invigorated. Nice fear is very mild. Looks so it's utterly bold. He has within rooming. He thinks again. So I think then you've got to switch to the next person and go through. Let's fight the walls. Ooh. You slew the walls. 4 hours of the day remain. Walking it. Oh, so basically you can move a load, but if you come to search or fight, that's it. That's your turnover for a bit, I think. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So yeah, that is. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go through it. I just wanted a quick show just to show, as it was mentioned. But yeah, that's in the folder. The other things you found in that folder are this lot, Halls of the Things. I think that's just the same thing as the original. Yeah. ZX and N and M to go up and down. I could never get my head around that. That is why I bought this. This is a ComCon. Basically, it allows you to, I don't know if it'll work with the ZX Spectrum next, but, you know, remember the cursor, the number key is like 5, 8, 7, and 6. So you can I've played this game with this, and it makes it a lot easier. So just put this in webcam mode. So that N and M, I could basically put it to up and down. So these bits at the top here is for the joystick, and then you basically just put. So at the moment 0 is fire 1. So then I can change this to say P, for example, and then anything that the Spectrum interprets as a P goes into this device, and you just basically turn it into a joystick thing. And the joystick port is there. I don't know what specific joystick it is. I'm assuming it basically goes, hey, these are keyboard, but we're actually just reformatting it back into a Spectrum, a joystick kind of interface, which makes things a lot easier. Yeah, controls are really bad, and because of that, they're not bad. I just don't understand the whole N and M, because it just throws me all the time. Another game that's really good, but has controls that I just can't deal with is Amorite, which is the one with the legs that go across, and it's like this big bowl thing, and you're supposed to be attacking mutant, was it flies or something like that? but the control scheme is basically up, left, down, right, and my brain's going, what? So Comcon is great for that sort of thing. I just want to see whether they've done... I think you've got to go up to the top. Oh, can you go here? So I don't have to press O to open anymore. I'm going to have to get ready for my lightning. Gotta be careful here. Oh shit. Fireball. Fireball's a bit slow, but at least it works. In the original, these things were a lot faster. So at least the next version gives you a bit of better... Oh shit. Got no magic left. Got my sword though. Which looks a bit weird. You do have arrows as well, but I think they're directional. Yeah, there you go. That is Halls of the Things are next, so a little bit better. But I don't agree with the control scheme. Next appeared, Night Night. Night Night's the one where you got to jump on the is it the platforms to colour them? I think it was. It's Warhawk. So you get a good set of games on there, and I think they give you some classic and 48K ones, but I can't remember which ones they are because I've basically just added to it since then. The other things you can do on the machine as well is one thing that I've installed because I think it's kind of cool. Is CPM. Problem is I've filled it with lots of stuff and it's hard to navigate, to be honest. So I've got a couple of games in there. I've got compilers, I've got COBOL and things like that in there. I think I've got assembler in there as well. But the problem is CPM is really for, probably best stuff to doing is making disk images, and just accessing the disk is probably a better idea to do it that way. But I added it in because it was possible. And I can just exit out of that. Let me just catch up on chat, because I've basically just been... FedEx, this version used the assets from the remake, scaled down as next sprites, believe. Okay. too much faff using next to map the keys to a 6-button Mega Drive pad. Yeah, I tend to not do that because I'm always worried that it might destroy the Spectrum or the pad itself, so I try not to do that. Yeah, am I right? Yeah, am I right? That's it. Another game I really want to like, but it's terrible controls. I reckon there's quite a few more games that would play better with. Yeah. Warhawk demo is probably the technical impressive. Yeah. What a TPM for the text adventures. Then Strand Games went and ported all the magnetic scrolls on level 9 to next. Never needed it. Thanks for showing these. What did the next but can't possibly justify it? The other thing is, if you have so I think version 3, issue 3 is done. Because I don't think you can get another one. I could be wrong here, somebody let me know. But there's also the Mister. They've got a call for the next. I don't know how up to date that is. And there's also, is it the Engo? Which is like a clone. But I'm not quite sure how cheap and ready available it is at the moment. So there is that option as well. So if you're looking at other options. You have a 40k, pricing it to Mystical is a little bit high. The Engo, I don't know what to call it. It's nice. Decent keyboard. There's also the Xberry Pi for the under 100 quid. There you go. There's another option there. So there's always some options to play around with. Emulator-wise, I think, if I remember rightly, Fuse has a part for the next, because I remember trying to do some dev work with that before the first Kickstarter came out. So there's that as well. Excuse me, Xberry is VGA and PS2 only. C-Specs emulate the next file. Yep, there you go. So that's another option. So if you want to play around with it, there are other things to look at. Right, so I'm just going to have a quick look at what we were talking about. Folder in the root of your next card. Let's have a look. So I've got the QL win there, which is the core thing. So if I make a should have to make a copy new make dir. What did you call it? So I've made Q file. So the Q file that I want to put in is an MDV file. Right, okay. Let's just see how this works. Turn this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two things. I do have a folder somewhere, I'm pretty sure, with a bunch of MDVs. Wait. So I've got QLA as an emulation thing. I've got QL2K with a folder with games in it. So if I copy this one, Problem is some of them when you extract it, they just give you the boot file, they don't give you the MDV, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. Example, you make a folder per QL file. Any type of file that the QL can read, but it would make sense to put the microdrive file in there. Top tip, rename the MDV to something stupidly short like a.mdv because typing, yeah, I don't get that. Boot is usually a text script accompanying, yeah, it's got a folder with the, sure there's an emulator that I can basically say, hey look, give me an MDV. No. You said actually you can use, yeah, but I still need the MDV file. Just gonna put another folder in here. Alright, let's see what happens with that. I don't know how well this is going to work. I have copied what you said, so I can come back to this, even if it's after the stream. So, if you're not sure what we're doing, basically the ZX Spectrum has ability to put cores in, and one of the cores they put into the new update was the Sinclair QL. The problem is that there was no viable way for me to kind of look at how to access anything, and that is what my Manic Winer is helping me out with. Just gonna have a look at, because I've put an MDV in here, but it is a game, or supposedly a game. I think it's called Josiah or something like that. Just let me have a look at it. Doesn't seem to be looking for that. I haven't transferred the file across. Hang on a minute. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I've not got an MDV file. That's fine. I'll just use this for now and just see what happens. You're saying... No, not that one. Now I've got to remember where the forward slash is. Right, so I can do, you're saying win 1 underscore. Do I just call that anything? So I can call it bad line. Okay, I'll do what you say. I'll take off the win 1. Maybe that's the issue. Semicolon. And also I've forgotten to put another it still says bad line. What am I doing wrong? Yeah, I've did that. Try do win 1. I can have a look. Not found. So I probably don't have a win 1 somewhere. QXL file, your Winchester 1 needs a copy of that MDV from the FAT32 file system. Transfer it. Right, so why am I not getting a win 1? What have I done wrong here? Is there any way to know how to mount the tri-capitals? Okay. Nope. Reboot QL. So okay. Does say card 1 initialized. Did I do that correctly? I don't see anything else other than that. Try to win 1 without the... No, still says not found. So when I first did this, I basically just pulled it in from the pulled the core in from, I think you download, you just basically upload it into, there was a certain way you did it, but basically you stick it on the the SD card, and then it basically pulls it in from there. I think it searches and pulls it in. And that's what I did. So unless I've done something wrong other than that, I don't think there's anything else I was supposed to do. Did you copy the QL? Did you copy the QL win to the SD card after installing the distro because there's a limitation on the file system? I think I just took the card, all the stuff that I had on it, I just copied it into it, and then just pulled it from there. Because this is what I don't understand with the whole, oh, it must be the first 10 files. Like, how am I supposed to be? I'm not like, unless I basically bin everything, reformat it, and do it again, which is very silly. Like, it's kind of weird. Have to backup, reformat, and install. Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. I think somebody needs to rethink this sort of idea. The whole sort of, it's got to be the first thing on your SD card. Like, who's going to... I mean, that's such a faff, having to back everything up, delete everything, reformat, just to have that thing as a... It just... yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't understand why that's a thing. It just doesn't make sense. Wait for the new distro. Yeah, that's fine. It's a beta core. Okay, fair enough. If it's a beta core, that's okay, but it's still a bit sort of... that's fine. I'll wait for the new distro. But anyway, look, you've got a QL. It's beta, so we'll have to wait and see. You know, but hey, I mean, the next works, so it's fine. I think because the QL is an 8-bit machine, it can't address 32 file system. Okay, fair enough. It's just a bit of a faff, really. But I'm happy I've got it. The thing is, though, that I've got the QL on this. I've got it on the ZX Uno. I've got it on the Mister, and that seems to be a lot better in terms of being able to do anything with it on the Mister. Having it on the Nex is a nice extra, I think, to be honest. But yeah, other than that, on my Nex, I don't have much more. So I've got CPM. As I already said, and the browser is just full of games now. I don't think I've got any demos. Oh, I think it comes with demos, so you can have a look at those. What's the extras? Oh, I do use the on the app side. I have used this, but it's not full of everything. So this is basically where you can just download games from. So okay, right, maybe not that one then. Oh, okay. Not anymore, you can't, or at least at the moment I can't. Put it in the first 16 bits. Mr. Distribute right ahead, yep. Yeah, it's a big improvement on this download. Oh, okay. Right, okay. I will have a look at GetIt. But basically what you could do was you could use that to download stuff. I'll just double check if it's just not being funny with Because it was working the other day. Or the other month, should I say. Yeah, there you go. That's what it should have done. So I could basically go through those, press enter, and it loads in. It's not the best, it doesn't have a load of stuff in there. But it is what it is. But apparently, according to Manic Winer, there's a new one, so I'll have a look at that. S to search. Q to quit. I think the quit thing isn't the best way because it doesn't actually pull you out properly. Still a handy feature here. Make a folder called GetIt, then within the folder. Oh, we're doing dot commands. Okay, hang on a minute. Let's see how badly I do this. So it's K. Yeah, browse into the folder. Escape and load command line. This is where I have difficulty on my keyboard. I think it should break, isn't it? Yeah. Yep. Yep, got it. Not used to this, so give me a sec. That's not the one I want. It's kind of weird typing this sort of stuff in the on the next, because we're not used to kind of modern typing of this sort of thing. Yeah, I see what you say. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I got what you, because I'm reading what you got a bit above / go space F. Come on, type properly. So are you giving me the one without load? I'm assuming, so I can load that later, maybe. I'm assuming that is correct. No, it's just not done anything. Problem is I can't escape now. Unless I'm supposed to wait for it to do something. But it would be nice for something visual. Because now I just think it's crashed. Let me just reboot. Oh, it's there. It just didn't kind of be wrong file type. Fine. Load installed bass. Okay, give me a second. want to make sure I'm in. Nope, doesn't like it. Give me flashbacks trying to code null specky. Let's try that again. Should be okay to redo this. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'll try it one more time, and if not, I will come back to this later. Ether erase, yes, and then I want to escape. Go into command line. Just gonna scroll up and do the entire thing. And that's fine. Don't worry about it. We've got to play a game today, and I got to shove a few bits. And you got to see how bad I am typing up my own spectrum. Having things that don't work is part of the show, should I say? I don't know whether that's the right term. No problem, Fluke. Learn some QL. Yeah, I did. The weird thing is, I thought the QL kind of, for me, looks a little bit like, I don't know why I think it's like Unix, a little bit. I don't know why I even thought about that, but it was just the way the commands were, just very kind of that sort of thinking, but it probably isn't. I'm probably just putting stuff. But yeah, I have done stuff like that before with the I think the underscores are kind of weird for that sort of system, but it was designed to be a business machine, so I can see it in a way. I do know that somebody tried to pull, or did pull, or something like that. Was it Bandersnatch is actually on the QL? There's a port of it somewhere, I've heard. EU executes binaries in multitasking environment. Number one chooses the timeshare channel. S copy moves stuff from the other file system. Well, I've copied what you've said now into where I put my password, so I've got that for future reference. So thank you very much for that. Probably just wait until the non-beta version comes in, and then maybe we'll have better luck with it. Yeah, this is just not. Just doesn't like it. I think maybe it's just downloaded it wrong. Try call boot and one more time, and then I'm going to call it a stream, I think. Thank you very much. Right, I've got that, and then we'll have a look at that later. Thank you very much, Nick Weiner. Just check to see if it is up, because it must have downloaded. Otherwise, it probably just said no. No, ZX Next is on. Because I can scroll, not scroll to it. I can go to it on Firefox. Try one more time. The host is ZX Next. Dash U. Oops. Go. Just gonna snooze the ads. I'm gonna finish soon. Now that's different. That didn't happen before. Because you remember it was just a blank screen, did nothing. So that's actually good news. Right, so then I can do there we go, just need to reboot. 2 should be fine. Oh, look how fancy this is for a old machine. Ooh. Right, let's see what we got. Oh, I see. Okay. So if I pick item, it'll jump to the top. Yep, that's what I thought. Looking forward to having this Quake demo. Gotta look at that. I do like the fact it shows you a screenshot of something and a bit of information. It's more like Doom than Quake. Right. Self-update, nice. So how do I quit it? There we go, quit to basic. Thought that might be an idea. I'm assuming this will be next +3 mode. Oh, but look at this. I think I've heard of this before, actually. Okay, I press Q, and the frig? Where are we going? Have I just come out the what? Banged it up to 28 hertz. Alright, okay. I mean, it runs okay at 3.5. But the problem is I press Q and I'm kind of... Yeah, I think I need to reset this. That's jump. That's jump. That's jump. These are the cursor keys. That's O. That's P. That's A. Oh, wait a minute. WASD. Of course it is. Okay. Now it's just gone. Okay, we're back again. It's fine. We're okay. We're okay. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Just can't really do much at the moment. Oh, that was why, because I basically just clipped out the entire scene. Okay, fair enough. Right. I'm glad we had success with one thing. Yep. Reminds me when you've looked too far on Freescape games, take ages to get your bearings. Yeah. Freescape games run nice and next as you can do this. Yeah, I do know about that one. That's pretty good. I do, because it makes it much more playable and it's really like slow plodding thing. Right, anyway, I think that is it for today because I've been pestered for ads and I want to try and kind of get out this before the ads pop in. So thank you everyone for popping in. Excuse my rusty gameplay, but that is as it is at the moment. But hopefully next week, now that I've got that back again, maybe we'll get a bit closer to getting that acid rain level done. Where's my stream ending? Now my buttons are working properly. So I will be back tomorrow with Amiga Monday, where we'll be looking at more Amiga format CD stuff. I think we're still on Amiga CD16. Probably do some demo scene, and we're still playing Colorado, which is that kind of frontier American kind of weird cinematic game thing. Then Tuesday we've got Exhumed, which is on SAN for some real hardware, so that is first person shooter stuff. Just as a reminder, that is the game we're playing. So it's known as Power Slave in the UK, the US, sorry, but it was Exhumed over here. And some of you might remember they came out as Exhumed Power Slave when Night Dive did a remake of it as well. So we're doing that on Tuesday. Then Friday we're continuing on with the El Cid campaign in Age of Empires 2. And then we'll be back again for the Sunday to try and at least get a bit further in Bounty Bob Strikes Back. But we'll be on real hardware next week. No problem, Fluke. You enjoying the Mr. Saturn core? Never had a Saturn. Yeah, so basically I bought a Saturn years ago, so I've now got Mega Drive, Saturn, and Dreamcast. Next to the Dreamcast is the 360, and at some point we'll be playing. I think you might have seen it on the intro screen, but this is a game that I'm thinking of playing, which is Hunt of the Reckoning on Xbox, since it's backwards compatible apparently. So that will be done, and I mean Xbox is practically retro now, you might as well say, so might as well do that. Wangan Racer, yes, it is over here. I'll get it out, but it's buried. But yeah, Wangan Racer was basically a Japanese racing car game where I think you got to pick a girl to sit with you. Which wasn't it? It was something like picking a girl to sit with you on the race. It was just like burning with fire. But yeah, that was typical Japanese weirdness from the 90s. Was that the old woman and Jailbait was in there as well. I call it Jailbait because she looks so young. And I'm like, don't think this is a good thing. Anyway, FMB, yeah. Oh, God. Right. Anyway, so let's see who's available for raiding before this stream gets cancelable with the next words out of my mouth. Who have we got on? There's a few people on because everybody's doing Game Pass at the moment. Charlie's doing Apple Macintosh. Alright, fair enough. Let's go over to Charlie then. I don't see why not. So if it's Apple Mac, I'm assuming that will be 68K stuff. Yeah, Macintosh Plus is 68K. Right, let's start that raid. I will hopefully see you all tomorrow for some Amiga goodness. And until then, I will see you all later. Bye.